Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another day of the KDL. I'm State. Joined with me is Peter, and today we've got some fantastic action, lined up for you. 2 team matches, and today in the solos, we are sending 4 players to the finals. We're getting closer and closer to the postseason. It's been a fantastic preseason so far, and yeah, I cannot be more excited to get started. How you feeling?
I am feeling also super excited today, State, because now, as you said, we are super close to that postseason. So it's really important for teams like Aura to start finalizing more points in their bag so that they can make it to the top 4. And as you said in the solo match as well, we're having the 4 top players move on, which is going to be exciting because it's going to be really competitive.
Yeah, and of course, being the round of 16 winners match today for solos, it's going to be a very stacked lobby as well as we look right now at the team match overview. We're about a week out, I think. In fact, actually exactly a week from the beginning of the postseason, where the top 4 players from the round-robin stage will advance to the playoffs and compete for that 40 million Korean won first-place grand prize, just shy of 40,000 US dollars. Right now, it feels like top 3 pro teams, Seongnam Rocks, Live Sandbox, Kwangdong Freaks, all on a path there as we take a look here at the standings. And I want to note very quickly that there were 2 penalties over the past week. Kwangdong Freaks, their coach got a little bit heated. There was a penalty given out for that, as well as, I believe it was
ShowTime.
ShowTime had 1 more point docked. And that's not like getting a loss overall, it's just 1 round point being deducted. So instead of plus 10 for the Freaks, it's plus 9. Very minor, but it might have an effect on their standings overall. You know, it was very close between them and Live Sandbox. They have played 1 less match, but, you know, Seongnam Rocks, LSB, KDF, they're all going to the postseason. Sensation, I feel like, if I had to put odds on it, I would say 80% chance of them making it to the playoffs right now. Or there still is hope. They have to win today. They're going to have to win their next team match as well. And they're going to need Sensation to lose some maps too, because Sensation right now, their round differential is crazy good.
Absolutely. Aura is praying for the stars to line up for them here, but today we're featuring matchups between Seraphic and ShowTime, which doesn't really affect any post-season results, but they're looking to get at least a win in their bag. And then for Potential and Aura, as we talked about, Aura really needs to win today in order to try to stay competitive against Sensation. And then finally, the solo match is going to be super exciting. We're here in the round of 16 winners match, and the players are super stacked.
Yeah, this could basically just be the finals right here. The lobby that we have. We have first place and second place from last season.
Yep.
You know, Cool and NEAL are both here. World as well is here. He's looking great. DDING is looking fantastic. Luning, Hero, Spear, Jim. It just doesn't get much better than this. It's an absolutely stacked lobby. And as you said, Aura, they're basically fighting for their tournament life here today against Potential, as they need to keep adding up the wins if they want to be able to close the distance between themselves and Sensation. But before we get into that match, starting off today, it's going to be Seraphic versus ShowTime. 2 teams right now at the bottom of our standings. ShowTime right now 1-5 overall. Seraphic 0-5 overalls. Really, this is more of a pride match for both these teams. You know, mathematically, they're out of postseason contention, but they would love to finish beyond last place, right? So for Seraphic right now, you see the 5-man roster on stage. They've got a lot of potential, you could tell. I mean, even getting here to the KDL and competing with these pro teams is a feat in and of itself, but as of yet, unable to deliver the performance that their fans were hoping for them.
Yeah, Seraphic definitely wants to try to show up today against ShowTime, which we could definitely say has had a better result so far this season, actually being able to win a match off of Kwangdong Freaks, and now they're looking to win their first set in speed against their opponent Seraphic today, because both teams, they're still unable to find that first win here.
Yeah, overall in sets and speed, both of these teams have been basically at the bottom of the rung. And when you can't win in speed, it's just so much more pressure on your team to make something happen in item mode and an ace, and it really diminishes your odds of winning any matches. That's a key part of why both these teams are kind of closer towards the bottom of the standings. But to touch on that really quick, so Seraphic, not only have they not won any sets against any teams in speed, they have yet to win a track so far here in the KDL preseason, which is absolutely phenomenal in like the most twisted kind of way. You know, it's like a 15-round L streak in speed matches is just wow.
Yeah, I was like, phenomenal? Is that the right word there, Steve? But I see where you're taking that one.
I mean, you can feel at times, sometimes it feels as though they're getting things going together, but the team play just hasn't been there. Occasionally you'll see, you know, Minshik or Amari really start to run away with it and get closer to the top of the standings, but then not have a lot of support. So,
This
the
is
bottom,
weird.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. Seraphic here cheering on ShowTime a little bit as they're saying they're going to go 1-6. ShowTime right now 1-5. So Seraphic saying they're going to win this match today, but very timid here with the trash talk, considering these are two of the lowest ranking teams we have right now in the league. But ShowTime, if they can win this one here against Seraphic, then suddenly they're going to finish 2-5 in the round robin stage. This is their last team match overall here in preseason 2, and that might put them ahead of potential, put them into 6th place as opposed to 7th or 8th.
Yeah, and ShowTime, they're looking great so far. They've had 3 back-to-back ace matches in the league as of recent, and it was Ghost winning one of them against World. So hopefully ShowTime, if they end up going to that 4th ace match back-to-back today, they're able to find some success in that star-studded player Ghost.
One team will take a victory in speed match today. Indeed, that is the way it goes. We will have a victor in speed mode between one of these two teams. They will no longer be winless here in KDL Preseason 2, so that's exciting. And you got to give the edge here to ShowTime in particular because Ghost, as you said, is such a stud, at least on this team. I mean, he's the top racer here in this match by far, I would say. Is he seems to have a lot of potential right now, ranking about halfway through the standings, I think 15th out of 33rd here as we look at the speed track list. ShowTime here with speed priority, going to be picking 3 out of 5 tracks as they choose World Tour New York Rally for map number 1. That will be followed by Glacier Extreme Stadium, World Tour Terracotta Twister, Zigzag Timberland, and Winding Slopes. Wow, some difficult tracks. Round 2 through round 5. That's exciting.
Just as you said, usually these tracks get banned out by the amateur teams, but now that they're kind of facing against an opponent where they feel they're more evenly matched in terms of skill, we can see them now actually opting to pick those tracks instead. We're seeing Factory Facility 5 and WKC Japan Circuit getting banned out by ShowTime there. It's very surprising to see a track like Japan Circuit get banned out.
Yeah, it is surprising, but I'm more surprised by the picks just because, this entire season, especially against the pro teams, as you said, out of fear of being outclassed, these rookie teams have been very timid and shying away from those tracks, but we will see them later on in this series as we're getting ready to start KDL today. Seraphic versus ShowTime in the first match, World Tour New York Rally.
We begin our first speed match of the day. Currently, it's Ghost in the lead for ShowTime. Minshik actually now saying, nope, get out of my way. We're coming in with a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, Minshik and Scarlet off to a great start here for Seraphic. Minshik, of course, the speed ace here for Seraphic. Would love to have a good performance here in one of their final matches of the preseason, but Ghost, he's so quick. You see him taking this really ambitious line. Just barely shy of getting past Scarlet there as he would love to pass Minshik here and get in first place.
I love how Ghost always looks for these perfect lines. This time he did get blocked up by Minshik, but it didn't work out. But however, there's still 2-3 right now for ShowTime. If they can have FaZe catch up to the middle of the pack, it's going to be really good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And for both of these teams, it feels like it's been lollygaggers closer to the bottom of each lobby that have been really weighing them down here in speed mode, as Ghost in particular here for ShowTime has been their most consistent player by far, above average here in the league, which says a lot considering he's gotten minimal support in terms of team play from his allies here on ShowTime. And right now, winning a 1v2 basically here against Seraphic as he holds on to first place. Minshik and Promise, they would love to try and pass him, and they will be able to find that angle as Ghost trying to do a little bit of body blocking there on Promise.
Yeah, Ghost is really on the edge right now with these lines, but he's making them work because he's taking the risk, but he's only getting the reward. Now it's Flair trying to catch up. However, FaZe and Monster, they are pretty far behind.
And if ShowTime, they want to win this track, it's going to have to come down to Ghost getting first place and also them reinforcing in the mid-ranks a little bit here, as on this straightaway, Ghost just seems like he might not have enough speed to pass Minshik, and it's actually going to be a 1-2 win here for Seraphic. So getting on the board first here is Seraphic with their first round win in speed of KDL Preseason 2. Better late than never.
Yeah.
Well done.
We were just saying how they never won even a single round, but they're like, well, we're just going to do it
we just got to talk about it. The caster jinx, the curse is real.
Yeah.
But in this case for them, it's a boon, it's a bounty. That's Seraphic, Minshik, and Promise coming with a high place 1 and 2.
Right.
Minshik and Promise, fantastic delivery there on the win. And Ghost, it was a valiant effort going for that basically 1v2 for the latter half of that track, but was unable to come through with the first place, and Seraphic now up 1-0 here in speed mode.
And I think it's important to note here that although it was Minchik and Promise coming in for the 1-2 punch, it wasn't really a win condition just off that 1-2. Their other two players also won against the members of ShowTime here, which is showing that they have some good team chemistry today.
Yeah, definitely looking a lot better as Seraphic, and we'll see if they can keep that up here as we move to one of the more difficult tracks as the tracks get more and more challenging here. Number 2, it will be raced on Glacier Extreme Stadium. Let's see if Seraphic can get another one on the board here as they finally have gotten that first round win. And I mean, for a rookie team like this coming into KDL Preseason 2, you know, it's not the regular season. You don't have too much on the line. Oh, wow, ShowTime.
Yeah.
I mean, the starts don't get too much better than this, but you know, for Seraphic, if they can come through, and even if they lose this track, come through with a round win overall, or a set win, I should say, here against ShowTime, it would be such a confidence booster for this team, who have been looking solid in item mode, but really have yet to put it together here in speed.
Scarlet is taking a lot of collisions right now early on in the track, and especially in the earliest phase, he actually collided into his own team off that, which is why the backline right now, Mari and Promise, they are pretty far behind. We're seeing now Promise trying to catch up. The 1-2 is here for ShowTime currently by Ghost, and Flare not giving any room for Scarlet. However, he makes the room happen in Scarlet.
Yeah, the inner line, Scarlet and Minchik both find it there as Flare went a little bit wide, and now it's Ghost once again in a 1v2 here at the top ranks. Seraphic off to a great start. Flare doing a little bit of sweeping there, but unable to make a meaningful connection with his opponent on Seraphic, and now Ghost. Once again, the onus is on him for ShowTime to get first place here. He has to beat Scarlet in the remainder of this track because right now, Flare, Monster, FaZe are sitting at positions 5, 7, and 8. They need a lot of points from that top rank.
Scarlet winning the line check against Flare has bought so much space right now. You look at Seraphic, they're 1-3-4-6. They're absolutely winning in the midfield. Monster and FaZe nowhere in sight at the moment, and this is the final lap. So Seraphic, they just need to hold on to their positions.
Yeah, coming into the hairpin turns though, Ghost able to get a nice start here. Actually able to create some distance between him and Scarlet with these really tight lines on the hairpins. 500 meters now away from the finish line, but even if Ghost gets first place, will it be enough? We might need FaZe or Monster to close the distance, and actually Minchik able to pass Ghost here on this straightaway. So with 1-3-4, Seraphic double their total round wins in speed here for KDL Preseason 2 as they got some momentum going.
Seraphic is definitely coming in hot today, saying they want to be the team to not only take the wins in rounds, but also the set for speed. And Scarlet there, he took so many collisions throughout the whole entire track, but even then, his team was able to come in and win. So it really just shows how behind ShowTime as a team was here. Ghost, he didn't have the support he needed.
Yeah, and Minchik really stepping up here for Seraphic in both track 1 and track 2 as he is the speed ace on this team, but overall in the standings, he's 31st out of 33 racers for team speed, so he hasn't been able to deliver. Happy to see him doing it now, though.
Yeah, Minchik last time, he was the ace match representative against Sungnam Rocks, and he had a really close nail-biting match against Jung. He lost by a hair, so I'm sure that off of that, he learned some through his mistakes, and now he's back on top form today.
Absolutely looks like it as Seraphic now run one round win away from sweeping ShowTime here in speed mode as we get ready to move to round number 3. Let's see if Seraphic can bring it home and get their first set win in speed of the preseason as we move to round 3, World Tour Terracotta Twister.
We move into match point for Seraphic in the track chosen by ShowTime. As we take a look at the standings, it's Ghost and FaZe leading with the 1-2. But Seraphic, they're no stranger to the rankings. They're catching right back up.
Yeah, and Minchik once again is the lead racer here for Seraphic as he's already battling with Ghost to take that number 2 spot coming into the inner tomb here in a second. We'll see if he's able to hold on to it. Wow, oh my goodness, what a nice block there on Ghost. Ghost actually falling all the way down into 4th place. Behind Promise there for a moment as he's trying to close the distance, but once again, the body blocks by Minchik. Man, Minchik is racing out of his mind today, coming into the tomb area, still in first place. We'll see how these players decide to navigate and how greedy a line they're going to take here through on lap number 1. It seems like everyone a little bit conservative here, do not want to risk it all.
Yeah, a lot of collisions were happening here back and forth between the players, but so far no player has been set back magnificently. Right now it's FaZe Ghost player in the 2-3-4. You can see Monster is really far behind, so it's crucial for ShowTime to keep up this 1-3-4.
Yeah, and for Minchik, it's now him who's feeling the pressure to maintain position 1, as ShowTime's midfield is so much stronger than it was both on track number 1 and track number 2, holding on a 1-3-4 overall. And it's actually FaZe, the lead racer here for ShowTime, who's going to be trying to lock Minchik out a little bit, but really if ShowTime can just consolidate here at the top ranks, they're going to be feeling so good.
Here's my take right now, State. I feel like Seraphic, they have a chance to catch up really easily, especially once we get into that tomb section, because the ranks are going to fluctuate. The main problem right now for ShowTime is that Monster is really far behind, so FaZe and Ghost, they cannot falter. They need to keep up this 1-2.
Absolutely, as Minchik's trying his best to create problems. Actually, almost knocked Ghost off there, and that's going to lead Minchik to taking first place here, coming down into the finish line, 500 meters away, but FaZe a little bit ahead on that boost case. Minchik, will he have enough nitro in the bag to be able to pass him here on this straightaway? I think Seraphic's got this one, man. It's going to be a sweep. Minchik and Scarlet with another 1-2. And Seraphic coming into today with 0-run wins in team speed. They win 3-0. You can see them all smiles right now on stage. This is a fantastic moment for this rookie team. I mean, when you get on stage, you're competing like this, it's so easy to fall into a mental block and be hard on yourself when you can't deliver a win. I mean, going 0-15, a 15-round lose streak, absolutely brutal, but Seraphic showing up here in team speed. Fantastic teamwork. Minchik, the speed ace, especially racing out of his mind. I feel like he was the lead racer for Seraphic every single track as they 3-0 here in speed.
Yeah, I mean, this is an incredible way to end off the speed here for Seraphic here against ShowTime. They still do have one more team match after this, but for ShowTime, this is their final opponent, right?
Yeah.
So now we're moving on into item mode where we're going to see Snoopy coming in for Seraphic, and if Snoopy can deliver as the item ace, they could look at finishing off 2-0 for the first time in Preseason 2.
That's possible. Mari, the runner on Seraphic, will be swapped out. On ShowTime side of things, probably going to see Fraun swapped in as, yep, Speed Ace Ghost will be sitting on the sidelines here as we switch over into item mode. Specialists coming off the bench.
Yep, I feel like ShowTime, they were able to find a lot of success in their item modes off their item ace Fraun, so it's going to be a lot of pressure right now for Seraphic to try their best to not get into the ace match, but if we end up going to ace match, it'll be really exciting to see which players come out.
Of course, ShowTime with speed priority here is only going to be able to pick 2 out of the 5 tracks. Seraphic getting the first round pick will go with Sphinx's Riddle, followed by Magma Cavern, Glacier Shark's Wake, Desert Pharaoh's Pass, and Mine Motherlode. So both mine tracks here will be played should we go all the way to round 5. And, you know, just to touch really quickly on the records here for both these teams is they have struggled in team speed, as we talked about already. You know, they haven't really been able to win a set against any team so far here in KDL Preseason. But item mode, an entirely different story. Both teams, you know, sitting right around 50% overall win rate. Very respectable, especially considering the big shakeup that we had here in the meta KDL Preseason 2. So potentially evenly matched here coming into item mode as we get ready to kick things off. Man, we are speeding along here as we go into round number 1 on Desert Sphinx's Riddle. And Seraphic now after a 3-0 sweep in speed mode would love to get the ball rolling here in item.
Yep, this is a 3-lapper track as we see, and we're seeing a lot of water bombs to begin, but there's no shields, and Angel Scarlet manages to pick up 1. So we're going to see a lot of players just getting set back right now.
It's actually a ton of water balloons total on the field. We might have seen like 7 or 8. It's absolutely crazy. That one will connect with the player. In fact, actually getting 3 members of ShowTime. So, you know, usually water balloons, they're not too impactful, but that one actually taking a lot of the wind out of the sails here of ShowTime's players here in the mid-ranks is Flair, the lone racer, here in the front line. Along with Minchik and Scarlet, he will get water whisked, so slow down here. And you know, the first big team play item coming out, it will be an Angel Shield here for Minchik. Would not be surprised to see him hold on to that one throughout pretty much the rest of this lobby.
Yeah, we saw Monster going for an aggressive line block there, which is why he's able to maintain that first place lead right now. And so far, no lightnings on the board. We've seen a great usage of triple lightning here in Sphinx's Riddle before. Seems like that's not going to be happening today. It's going to be more a fight about magnets and positions.
Yeah, at least for now. Well, I mean, we say that, and then Thrawn, the item ace here for ShowTime, picks up a lightning bolt, so that's the first one on the field. And those lightnings can be so game-changing, especially if you're able to chain them up and get 2 or maybe even 3 heading into a finish line. So ShowTime will certainly be looking to find more of those if they can. And right now, you know, ShowTime, they're mostly holding on to the top positions here, but really it's the items that are telling the stories. Actually, we have 2 more lightning bolts coming out. Seraphic actually picking up both of them, so...
You look at Minsick just swapping
He's
through
excited.
them. He's getting trigger happy right now, getting ready to send the clouds out, but you can see Monster, he's trying to lead the pack with a shield and a nitrous. He's looking to absorb some aggro there, and he's just going to be able to use a nitrous to catch back up.
And for Minsick, I mean, you're just going to be holding on to this Angel Shield and Thunderbolt all the way through to the end of the race because they're such essential team play items. And okay, actually the first lightning coming out right now, that's going to connect here on Seraphic.
But Seraphic, they're still holding on to their 2 lightnings as well as an angel. So
yeah,
in the final moments, we're going to see those clouds start to appear above the head of ShowTime.
No angels on the field for ShowTime as they get completely shut down here on that ramp. I mean, the UFO will connect with Promise. I don't think there's going to be enough speed for the ShowTime players, though, to actually close the distances. Although it was a 2, 3, 4, 5 here for ShowTime. The Lightning's just too strong. Promise able to get away with it, even with the UFO abducting him.
Yeah.
All right.
Seraphic having such a good day here of KDL right now, kind of just making up for their lack of wins because they're right now 4-0 in rounds.
This is their best day here in KDL by far so far. Is they would love to keep this momentum going, man. You know, at the end of the day, if they keep this thing up, they might be finishing ahead of ShowTime overall in the standings, right?
Possible. I mean, they're both going to be because it's going to be 1-5 for Seraphic and ShowTime's going to go down to 1-6 if they lose. So Seraphic definitely will be getting a nice win for their ego here.
Yeah, +4 round differential already as well for the first 4 tracks that we played so far, as Seraphic seem to have really come to the stage with a lot of confidence here today, ready to play.
Yeah, right now it seems like we are going to be moving on to the choice of track from ShowTime for our second round. So hopefully they're able to finally win a round of their own here as we get ready to move on into track Mine Magma Cavern. Off we go in item round number 2. It seems like it's going to be another 3-lapper track. We're seeing a lot of missiles getting cycled out.
Yeah, Mine Magma Cavern. I feel like every single time this track comes up, I always talk about how much I love it, but it really is so much fun with the lava.
Yeah.
I mean, you've casted with me like, what, 2 or 3 days in a row now, so...
Yeah. I do remember you saying that.
I know, but I love it so much. I hope we get some cool rockets coming in, like this one on Snoopy, because, you know, you can't really control your cart once you get hit by those. You know, because it's replaced with the balloons by this, by the banana effect, right? You just kind of spin out. So on corners, you can, if you're lucky and your opponent doesn't have a shield, force them all the way into the lava and really take a lot of momentum away from your opposing racers here as finishing lap number 2. Not a lot of team play items in total on the field. Just a lot of shields, a couple of magnets over there in the back rank, as we see those actually get traded out as these lower-ranking players, they would like to work their way up here to the midfield to absorb a little bit more of the aggro, but no angels, no lightnings overall.
Yeah, right now, Monster, he does have a pretty monstrous lead for himself. That's why we're seeing Snoopy trying to catch up by utilizing the shield. Now he's going to be able to use the Water Wisp. However, an excellent shield by Monster. He's going to be able to buy more time staying in the lead.
And now Flare picking up the first angel shield here of the track. For Team ShowTime, going to be very happy to hold on to that one, as we're already on lap number 3, and there really aren't a lot of team play items on the field as of yet. So, I mean, there is a lot of aggressive potential, actually, and, you know, we might have one of those more KDL Preseason 1-esque finishes where the focus is going to be on nitrous, on magnets, because the attacks coming out of these racers, the Thunderbolts just simply aren't there.
Finally, Monster's going to get slowed down by the UFO, so he's just going to baton pass over to FaZe, who's trying to stay in the lead, but now it's Snoopy trying to 1v3, go for a miracle play here, but he only has a shield and a water bomb. I don't know if that's going to be enough. Monster, he does get slowed down by the UFO, and he's going to be able to just speed right back. Monster still in the lead.
Yeah, water bomb just barely misses Monster there as he's able to ride this one, and ShowTime finally gets on the board after losing the first 4 tracks of this match. Down to 0-3 in speed, now tied up 1-1 here in item mode as it's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, as you
would have been stressful to go down 0-2 here against Seraphic. You know, ShowTime, they want to try and move up the rankings. A win here today might even get them ahead of potential overall and move them into 6th in the full league standings as opposed to falling to 8th should they lose here to Seraphic. So nice win there for Monster, for FaZe, for ShowTime as a squad. 2 track wins away now from trying to force an ace match.
Yeah, that item round at the end there, as you said, it was really just a fiasco of throwing UFOs and missiles and water whips at each other because it felt like that 500 meters in particular was really, really dragged out. It's probably because no one was able to find the nitrous and the magnet angle due to UFO kind of being the item to take away all momentum from that.
Yeah, inventories are pretty sparse here as we take a quick look at the finish line recap. And I saw this water balloon pop. I thought it was going to hit Monster, but actually a shield and I think an angel shield resulted in him being able to dodge it. As you know, that ramp is one of the most exciting parts of Mind Magma Cavern here in item mode because water balloons, you can't really evade them there except through shields. And we've had some teams set up wombo combos there in the past. That time was not able to happen for Seraphic, so ShowTime getting the win. All tied up 1-1 now. As we move on to track number 3, it will be Glacier Shark's Wake. Both these teams now 2 track wins away from deciding the fate of this match. Seraphic with 2-0 after winning speed would just completely win both sets, get their first win overall here in the KDL preseason, which they would love to have. ShowTime trying to avoid that. 2 track wins away from an ace match.
And we're seeing a trend here from ShowTime. Monster is constantly trying to stay in the lead while his teammates are mostly staying in the middle of the pack, trying to pick up more items and throw some water bombs. And it has worked out in the second track, so I'm curious to see what will happen here as we're seeing Monster holding onto a magnet.
He is holding on to that magnet for now, so you know, being the lead racer here, I was gonna say he's gonna eat a lot of aggro as he does get that aggro eaten. And Magnet, a great way of working your way back up into the mid-ranks as we see Frong just highlight that in perfect timing for us.
Exactly, and now we're seeing Minsik. He's going to be able to throw out a missile here along with a UFO, going to connect onto FaZe. Now Flare, he's holding on to a Lightning, and we're seeing 3 Angels across the board, 2 of them on the side of Seraphic, so I don't think Seraphic is too concerned about that Lightning.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, you're going to be really happy anytime you're holding on to 2 Angel Shields already on lap number 2, although they would love to get a couple more attacks in the bag, as the only Lightning we really have on the field here is with Flare. This kind of feels like the opposite of the cast that we did on Wednesday, where you know almost every single team was getting Lightning after Lightning after Lightning after Lightning. When it came down to item mode, a little bit more sparse here in Seraphic versus ShowTime is still now on lap number 3. Flare in first place with that Lightning Bolt and with a Magnet. Might not be too many big attacks coming in, especially with the Angel Shields we have on the field.
Yeah, there's a lot more utilization of barricades. We're seeing players crash into those instead to lose momentum. Now it's Promise and Minsik sitting in a 1-2. Promise, he's going to be able to absorb a lot of aggro with his defensive utility. While Minsik, he has an EMP as well as a booster. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Minsik go for a play.
Yeah, Snoopy as well right now holding onto a Nitrous and a Magnet as both of them get popped, and it's a race to the finish line. And yes, Snoopy with so much speed from both those items. There were no attacks coming in on him, and although he was sitting in the mid-ranks, anytime you can combo a Nitrous and a Magnet like that, right before the finish line, you're going to be feeling really good as Seraphic gets on the board yet again, now on match point, up 2-1 here against ShowTime.
Snoopy came in as the hero at the end there, and it is going to be a really nice win for Seraphic because now they are up 2-1. They could end it off before going to ace match if they win one more track. Whereas for ShowTime, the one hope for this team is that this is the team we talked about on last broadcast. always going 3-2 in item mode when they go for a comeback. That's how they won every single item rounds and sets. So it's maybe time for ShowTime to kind of awaken their inner passive.
Yeah. I like that. They're like a RPG character. That's their passive. Their comeback mechanic is they always work their way from 2-1s into 3-2s. You know, I doubted it last time. I'm a believer now. We'll see if they can actually pull it off as we're getting ready to move on to round number 4. Seraphic only 1 track win away from their first victory in KDL Preseason 2. Let's race on Desert Pharaoh's Pass.
We begin our item round number 4. It is match point for Seraphic. If they win here, they win the day 2-0 against ShowTime, and we will not have an ace match.
Yeah, Seraphic's just been playing so well. Minshik there in speed mode, and then the teamwork here in item mode has been superb for this team as they've been dominating really from the get-go, just only dropping 1 track thus far. ShowTime really need to make something happen here, but it's so precarious in item mode. Just have spin out after spin out after spin out.
Yeah, you said do something, but they're too busy trying to not get attacked right now as we see a UFO connector as well as Scarlet. He's going to stay behind and look for a water bomb angle, but he falls behind.
Yeah, and ShowTime right now actually do have 2 Angel Shields already after track number 1, so a very nice, safe setup here for them already. Going to be very happy with that, especially having it split on 2 different players means they can continue to cycle through all these items at a healthy rate here and increase their proc chance. Actually popping an Angel Shield here is perhaps they are feeling like maybe the Lightning isn't too much of a threat today. They're feeling a little more confident, deciding they want to increase their odds of getting attacks of their own here with the rotations, as it's only Flare now with the Angel.
Right now we're seeing Promise. He's trying to absorb whatever aggro he can with the shield. Of course, UFO is not an item he can block out, but that missile, he's going to be able to trade for a shield. Now, he pops his Nitrous to build himself a bigger lead. Monster, he's holding on to a missile of his own.
And Promise and Snoopy right now here in 1st and 2nd place will be taking most of the aggro here for Team Seraphic as they have 3 shields and an EMP in total. And once again, we have no Lightnings on the field here in lap number 3. So we'll see if one comes out here and some of these final last treasure chests. As Monster with some nice attacks, able to work his way into 1st place. But looking at the item setup, I'm liking the double Nitrous right now on Fron, although he is sitting in 8th place.
Right.
And we have a Magnet. Oh, he actually swaps it out, gets a Magnet and a Nitrous, so an even better setup for him.
And now we're seeing Promise. He's really trying to take this lead away right now. He's sitting on the shield and the EMP, trying to take it all the way home. His backup is going to be Scarlet here. Monster, he's only got a shield. There's no way to catch up to Promise.
No way to catch up to Promise, and Seraphic are going to have their first team win of the KDL preseason. They will not go winless here in preseason 2, as you can see them almost breathing a sigh of relief as finally picking up that first W has got to feel so good for these rookies, and they really deserved it today. They played so well in speed mode, and here in item as well, 3-1 win against a team with a 50% win rate in ShowTime is just solid as Promise coming through there in the clutch. FaZe unable to catch him.
With that set win secured for Seraphic, now we don't have a single team here in KDL Preseason 2 without a win.
Yeah.
Every single team at least has 1 wins in their bag now. And as you mentioned earlier, State, off of this win, now Seraphic is going to be above ShowTime in the overall standings, coming in at 7th place.
And for ShowTime, their KDL Preseason 2 run is going to end here. That was their final match of the preseason as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. Seraphic, they do have 1 more match left to be played, so maybe if they can keep this momentum going, pick up another win, they might actually be able to move up the ranks a little bit. I mean, of course, you are eliminated from the playoffs here as Seraphic, but you got to be feeling so good. 6-1 overall right now in tracks with this victory over ShowTime. It's a thrilling moment for these guys, I'm sure.
I honestly expected the matchup to be closer than this, State. It feels like...
Yeah, I thought the same.
Feels like ShowTime, when they lost in speed, they overall as a team today didn't really have the cohesion, because in item round they also lost 1-3, and when Seraphic was winning, it did feel like it was more one-sided. There wasn't a lot of fighting through to get that 1st place.
Yeah, I think a lot of that just comes down to the form individually of Minshik, especially right now on Seraphic, because today he showed up and performed up to the role that this team defined for him. He is the speed ace, but to this point, up until today, Overall, he was one of the bottom players in team rankings, which is not the performance that you want out of the player that should be the star of the show on your team, right? But today he absolutely delivered. He lived up to the hype. He came through. I think, if I'm not mistaken, was either first or second racer every single track for Seraphic there in speed mode, as he was a critical part of their success, picking up their first not only round wins, but set win in speed here in KDL Preseason 2.
Yeah, that's a huge congratulations to them. And we've gone through 2 preseasons right now here in the KDL as we prepare for the official season to begin. And I feel like this is a extremely promising start for the rookies to kind of just get a feel for where they stand overall in preseason 2. And I feel like they've shown that they can definitely take those matches off of pro teams. They just need to get better at the ace matches, because in the item matches so far, they've shown a lot of strength.
Yeah, it's really just speed and ace matches that has been the Achilles heel for, it feels like, every single rookie team here in KDL Preseason 2, even more so than in KDL Preseason 1. And as these pro teams continue to rack up the experience, they're practicing out of their minds. The skill gap, it feels like it's getting wider, but who knows? Maybe if players like the ones on Seraphic, like Minshik, can continue to come through with performances like this, they can put up a fight once we come to the next season of KDL.
Yeah, Minshik picked up a lot of fans himself, especially after that exciting ace match against Jung this week on Wednesday. And I'm sure even now, coming into the team match and performing well as well, a lot of fans are really hyped up to see Minshik more.
Guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we get back, our second team match of the night, Potential versus Aura. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you soon.